In the heart of Moscow, life pulsates in a unique rhythm, where tradition and modernity walk side by side. Capital of Russia, Moscow is a city of contrasts, at once historical and futuristic, rigid and vibrant. At dawn, thousands of people cross the city using the famous Moscow Metro, considered one of the most beautiful in the world, with stations that look more like underground palaces. The routine is intense. Workers, students, and tourists mix amid the characteristic cold that, during the winter, can easily reach extreme negative temperatures. In the city center, the iconic Red Square reveals centuries of history. Next door, the imposing St. Basil's Cathedral, with its colorful domes, has become a globally recognized symbol. These monuments are not just sights, but are part of the everyday life of residents. Life in Moscow is marked by discipline and constant movement. The cost of living can be high, especially in central regions, but wages also reflect this reality in more developed sectors. Moderna cafes, high-end restaurants, and luxury shopping centers coexist with traditional markets and small bakeries that preserve typical Russian flavors. The local cuisine brings comforting dishes such as hot soups and stuffed pasta, ideal for braving the harsh climate. And despite the often serious appearance of the locals, Russian culture deeply values family, friendship, and hospitality. At night, Moscow transforms. Lights illuminate wide boulevards and historic buildings, while bars, theaters, and concert halls come to life. The city offers everything from classic performances to a lively Moderna nightlife. To live in Moscow is to experience extremes of temperature, of culture, and of pace. It is a city that requires adaptation, but that rewards with a historical, cultural, and urban richness that is difficult to find anywhere else in the world. And behind this awesomeness lies a less visible, but equally fascinating Moscow. In the residential neighborhoods farther from the center, the routine is quieter. Families live in large apartment complexes, many built during the Soviet era, which are still part of the urban landscape. There, daily life revolves around local markets, schools, and small green areas, where children play even in the bitter cold. Education and culture play a central role in the life of Muscovites. Renowned theaters, such as the Bolshoi Theater, attract not only tourists, but also locals who value classical art. Museums, libraries, and cultural centers are always active, showing how much knowledge is an essential part of Russian society. But not everything is simple. Adaptation to the harsh climate, heavy traffic, and social differences between richer regions and peripheral areas are also part of the reality. Still, Moscow remains the main economic and political center of the country, providing opportunities for those seeking professional growth. In the city parks, such as the famous Gorky Park, you can see another side of local life. People riding bicycles, playing sports, or simply enjoying the rare sunny days. During the summer, the city changes completely. The cold gives way to more pleasant temperatures, and the streets become full of life. Technology is also present in everyday life. Digital payments, transport applications, and online services make life easier for residents, showing that Moscow is not only tradition, but also innovation. In the end, to live in Moscow is to learn to cope with constant contrasts. It's finding beauty in the harsh winter, energy in the crowds, and history around every corner. A city that never stops, and that always has something new to reveal. And even with all this intensity, Moscow also keeps moments of silence and contemplation. During the winter, when snow covers streets and monuments, the city takes on an almost cinematic air. The lights reflected on the ice create unique landscapes, while the steam from people's breath constantly reminds how harsh the weather can be. Still, life does not stand still. On the contrary, it adapts. Orthodox churches, with their golden domes, remain important points of faith and tradition. In places like the Cathedral of Christ the Savior, you can see locals lighting candles, saying prayers, and maintaining customs that cross generations. Another striking symbol of the city is the Kremlin, the center of Russian political power. More than a tourist spot, it represents the strength and history of a country that has undergone profound transformations over the centuries. And if during the day Moscow impresses with grandeur, then at night it conquers with atmosphere. The streets are illuminated, artists perform in squares, and the movement continues, showing that the city practically does not sleep. For those who live there, Moscow is not just a destination. It is a daily challenge, an intense experience, and at the same time, an opportunity for growth. It is the kind of place that may seem cold at first glance, but that reveals its richness little by little, for those who really immerse themselves in its culture. In the end, Moscow is just that, a city of extremes, of deep stories, and of a resilient people. A place where the past and the future coexist side by side, creating one of the most fascinating capitals in the world.